Welcome to the Jira Life, the place to find news, events, and interviews with the Atlassian Community's movers and shakers. Join our hosts, Alex, Dr. Jira Ortiz, and Rodney, the Jira guy Nissen, as well as the Jira Amigos in the Peanut Gallery, as we sit down and discuss the latest going on in the Atlassian ecosystem. Because we didn't choose the Jira Life, the Jira Life chose us.
Hello, Jeremigos.
Hello. How rare is it for the three of us to be together like this?
It's almost like a once-in-a-year occurrence, you know?
Yeah.
It really is. I mean, because the last time we were like this was technically when Rodney went to Team Europe.
Yeah.
But that was a huge
And
technically, because wasn't he in Europe?
I mean, yes, it was. I think before that was the first show, season 2.
Right,
back
the
in
once a
January
year one.
2024. Yeah.
Actually,
But
the
Bob
first
wasn't.
show, season 2, it was still just the two of you.
That's what I was going to say. But Bob wasn't there, right?
I wasn't there, but I had the greatest impact because
Thorn in our behind, I wouldn't leave.
no, it was because I started talking about Roadrunners, and that led to the penultimate Alex Discovers.
Oh, you'll love this then, because I just taught my Tesla, when you lock it, you can change the lock sound. And I have the Roadrunners beep beep or meep meep, right?
Mm.
And my little cousin's like, "What was that?" And I'm like, "It's the Roadrunner." She's like, "What's the Roadrunner?" So I had to introduce her not only to the cartoon, but then to the fact that they're actually real. So if you thought it was
And-
lost on me, it's lost even more lost on the next generation of folk coming up.
It's a double whammy. They don't even know about the cartoon.
I know, I was so surprised, but when you grow up with Disney Channel and not Cartoon Network.
Yeah, I can see that.
Although, did you guys hear that Cartoon Network domain is officially dead?
I have not.
I did not.
Yeah, it's done. CartoonNetwork.com is no more.
So, you know, somebody could actually pick up CartoonNetwork.com right now.
I don't know. I think they just own it, but they just sunset it. Like, that domain is gone.
Like, they're not serving it on a web domain, but they still have the rights to the domain.
Yeah.
Because that would be serious corporate black eye for whoever owns.
Yeah.
That
August 8th,
station
2024, Cartoon Network officially shut down. Now redirects to Cartoon Network Channel Hub on the streaming service Max.
Mm.
So that's how
End of an era. End of an era. But we have a, what do you call it? What's that S word? A script?
I'd like to note here.
I was going to say special.
Bob completed the script like 3 days ago. I saw it earlier today, so I'm not doing great myself. Alex saw it about 5 minutes before the show.
And I'm better because I know there is one. And special thank you to our sponsors.
Special thank you to our sponsors, Revise. So, you know, they definitely back us up.
They back us up. They're backing us up so much, they're going to back us up all the way up through 2025 into 2026. So thank you very much. All right. For everybody else, welcome to the Peanut Gallery. Glad to see you all here. Glad to see you all still. Somebody, oh boy. Are we liable for this if somebody falls?
I don't
Gets hurt?
think so.
We're not liable. Somebody gets themselves hurt while watching the Jira Life, right?
Depends.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Maybe
Meaning
we're going to have disclosures at the beginning of this. Please sit down, put your trays in the upright position, buckle up.
Make sure your hands and feet are within the vehicle at all times.
You know, I'm thinking through and rework of our intro and outro, and I could put something like that in it.
Really small text. And if you're watching the replay, please don't forget to subscribe. And if you're watching this for the first time and you haven't subscribed, please make sure you smash the subscribe button. See, I know how to read a script.
So,
That's
Alex,
funny,
you know how to
we
read a
didn't actually
script?
put it in script.
What are we talking about today, then?
I haven't made it that far. Give me 1 second. let me keep scrolling down. So it's 2025, new year, new me, new Jira Life, right?
Yeah. we do this every year. We take a look at what worked the previous year and make some adjustments to our format to kind of address where we may be falling short and to improve the show for everyone. So we looked at what we did in 2024. In a word, it was all about the guest. I think we can maybe count on one hand the episodes that did not have a guest of some sort.
Yeah, the first episode.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, okay. There we go.
The first episode, Team
And-
24 Europe,
Yeah,
which
That's
I
true.
don't know if that counts.
I know, because that one had all the guests.
Yeah, we did. That's right, we did, because we had all the clips I was able to get.
I think it was just a year ago. It's been a year.
Yeah. So
We were even so crazy. We went 24 hours with 24 different guests, and then somewhere in between all that, we also had a episode where we decided to get 10 guests.
So yeah, the one thing we talked about when we were discussing, okay, what do we change, what do we improve, is we want to do more diverse shows. We love having guests on. We're not getting rid of guests entirely, but not every episode is going to be guests. In many ways, we're going back to how we started.
I was gonna say it's kind of a back to the basics type of thing where
Yeah.
you guys not only brought up the news, but had your own spin on it, what it looked like from your perspectives. And so I think that's what a lot of people liked, and a lot of people, frankly, missed it. So we want to try and inject that back in on Thursday afternoons.
So some of our episodes this year, and we're going to have many different types of episodes. We're not going to be doing the same thing every week. So if you don't like that, definitely let us know. I'm not going to spur an engagement, but this is what we're going to try this year to try to keep things interesting for everyone. But a few of our shows are going to be like the original season 1 shows, where we have a bunch of news topics to go through, and we kind of give our commentary and thoughts on the news as it comes up.
And for the record, I thought this was going to be the first episode of that about 3 hours ago.
Yes.
Even though we said it wouldn't be last week.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's one variation, and we got several variations of kind of the same. Another one we're looking at, because this has been popular,
And
is go ahead.
I was going to say, and it you might start showing Sean, the vaunted script, and verify that to everybody that it does exist.
I don't know why everybody's so obsessed with this script.
I don't know. This show from day one has been more of a vibe thing. We just kind of follow the vibe of where things take us, and we kind of have a plan going to it, and we usually throw it out 5 minutes into the thing.
With Mark Carruth last year, it was 30 seconds. It was as
I
soon
don't
as
think
you
we
guys
even got
said hi, Mark. I knew I already knew that the script was gone. So
I don't think we even made it through the intro entirely before it was
basically, yeah.
Yeah.
And somehow that was my fault.
That wasn't your fault.
John, we're going to drag you into this because you're the most vocal about the script not existing theory.
I would second that. If it was Sean and Andy are the two people that give the hardest time about a script.
It does exist. It has existed every week for almost a year now. Doesn't mean we always listen to it.
I think Andy stopped talking about the non-existence of a script when he was that week's guest, and we gave him the script and said, "Yeah, this is a guideline."
The magical script.
Yeah.
I don't know about listening to our customers or the customers being always right. I've had too many years of being in retail to know that the customer's not always right. Anyway,
I just discovered this within the past week. That's one of those quotes that we just cut in half. The other famous one I mentioned earlier in the earlier episode podcast was Jack of all trades, master of none. And the rest of it is oftentimes better than a master of one. We just cut the entire half to change the meaning. That quote is customer's all right is another one, because the full quote is actually customer's always right in matters of taste.
Right.
Ah.
Never heard of that.
I looked it up. That is historically what it has always been, and we just cut it in half to justify treating retail workers badly.
That's not nice.
No, it's not. But
It's not. And I try not to be a problem customer, having had worked several years in retail.
my first job was fast food, so I feel you there, Bob.
Shout out to all the retail workers out there who have just survived the Christmas season. Oh, actually, they're still working the Christmas season, dealing with returns.
Yeah. We went out yesterday to me and my wife to look at a few things, and
There's somebody
every place
that's
was
kind of
crazy.
there's your wife that kind of almost exists as much as the script does.
Again, Alex, if you had just stayed here long enough, I would have come picked you up. You could have stayed the night, and you would have met her.
Next time I get stranded in Atlanta,
Yes.
the first one
But
knocking.
anyways, back on topic. We have several variations of the Back to Basics Alex and Rodney commentary. We've got the Jira Duty Lights. Alex, very famous Jira Duties where he's trying to become a community leader, or at least answer questions.
Well, that was trying to become a community leader.
Yeah, you are now a champion, which is a new term for them. So, and that's because there are many flavors of people who support the Atlassian community, creators, the certification SMEs, all that. But Alex is officially a champion. He does count as a community leader with all the benefits thereof. But he's still a little sore on this topic.
I still haven't reaped all the benefits. And I still get in trouble.
I mean, the email thing was funny.
It was not funny.
We have all done something to get Atlassian upset at us. I don't think I've ever gone so far as to warrant an official email being sent out, but
I'm wondering if it was renaming a status level.
That's a fireable offense. I'll tell you
Well,
that much.
I'm just saying, sending out oodles and oodles of 48 messages to 1,000 plus members, and as Andy says, no one else is triggering a mass apology. That might be renaming a status type of infamy there.
It was an accident.
So might renaming a status.
You guys are never gonna let me.
No,
this one
no,
down.
we're not.
Not even close.
No.
Never. Just suck.
Well,
It's only because we love you.
Yes, and just in case your ego has swelled up to the size of St. Louis from all your awards and books and things like that, we got to get it back down.
Whatever are you talking about? Oh, man. You guys are just so mean to me. Like, what did I ever do to you?
I mean, there's 2001: A Space Odyssey.
That was something you horribly did to me. I should be mad at you still.
We recommended a movie we enjoyed. We did not account for ADHD. I'm sorry.
I take the I take the Samuel L. Jackson, Nick Fury. What did we do for you?
Oh man, you guys are just something else though. Like I don't know what I would do without either of you. Or without you. With or without you.
We definitely try and keep life interesting for you, Alex. But yeah. But on top of Jira Duty.
But go back. I don't think we've described what Jira Duty Lite is yet though.
So let's explain what the Jira Duty is. Because Alex, this is your brainchild. This is kind of something you created. I think you should explain what it is, and then try and explain
the way I
what the
usually
light
do.
version
Okay,
is.
so I'm sitting down October 2023. I take everybody way back, and I'm waiting for my mom. I had to drop off for jury duty, and I'm like, man, this jury duty crap is just like it's a necessary evil. Something you got to do to to do the thing you got to do for your civic duty. And then I kind of felt like when I couldn't become a community leader because I didn't answer enough questions. So I felt like, well, I got to just sit down and like force myself to do it the way you sit down and force yourself to go to jury duty. And then it was like Jira Duty was born. So it's basically an hour where we just sit down and answer community questions. So questions from community.atlassian.com.
Now, that on its own was interesting enough. I think you then took it to the next level about October last year.
Oh, right. So last year, because I was on the hook, contractually on the hook to run a series of 14 sponsored videos, we decided to knock out 14 hour-long sessions of Jira duties. No thanks to you guys and Sarah Wright, or not thanks, but in special thanks of Sarah, Bob, and Rodney. And also, ironically enough, Sarah got jury duty. By the way, did she ever do that?
I am assuming she did.
Or did she get out of it?
Just going there yelling jury nullification.
And that's what so basically, again, the idea is to, as Bob said earlier, right? When we first started, Rodney, we asked the group here if there was any questions that they could have or had that we could answer. And Bob was kind enough to help us recognize that almost everybody in attendance here is an expert in Jira.
Yeah.
So the pivot will be, we'll go out to the community. We'll go to the millions of people out on community.atlassian.com and help them, or at least pull something in, bring something in that's interesting, and chat about it from the lens of the experts here.
Yeah, and that's Jira Duty Light, but the community is not the only place we could pull questions from. As we continue to expand it, and grow, we're also starting to get some questions on community posts and some interest there. So if we get an interesting, juicy question that we think we could talk about, or several of them saved up, we could also do something similar to Jira Duty, but with LinkedIn post comments and questions.
One thing to note, though, for the benefit of everybody in this call, right? Just the way we saw the benefit on the 14 Jira duties that we did, is there's so many different ways to skin the cats here.
Mm-hmm.
What's a better term? There's a lot of different ways to answer questions on the Atlassian, within the Atlassian community, right? And I think us three are going to bring our unique perspectives, but you all in the peanut gallery, you get to bring your unique perspectives as well, because you're going to see us struggle with it. You're going to see us try to understand the question, and you can help us, give us your opinion on what you think the question is actually asking, because half the time, I think when we were answering questions last year, right, which was, what the heck is this even asking? Like, we didn't even know, right? And so we might give Bob, make him earn his pay, and give him the responsibility of finding good questions. But if history is any indicator of what's to come, we're probably just going to be looking at the questions live during the stream. And so interpreting or just understanding what the question is asking is going to be a great opportunity for y'all to jump in and go, not 100% sure that we agree with the way you're interpreting what the question is asking. And then the opposite or the flip side would be, as we come up with our answer, as we put our noodles together and our noggins together and nog on this question and come up with a good answer, you can help us determine if it's the best answer, right? And what we ask you to not do is to not pull a Trudy and snipe us, right? Don't get in there and answer the questions right before we get in there.
I was going to say, I'm getting ready for the pre-recorded. Yeah, Trudy nailed it once again.
We probably should just have that on like a soundboard.
Yeah, exactly.
Womp, womp, womp.
Trudy beat us.
For the inside joke explained, many a times when we were answering questions, Trudy would jump in and already answer. So as I refreshed the screen, her answer was there.
Yeah. Now,
and another thing I think as a third option that I'd like to bring up before we go to the next topic is that you all have the opportunity to, like, you answer a question, we can go in and review it, critique it, talk about it, and see what we think of your answer. No better way to be publicly shamed on the internet, right?
I'm going to say I'm going to say that that is about that's going to have as much popularity as nails on a chalkboard, to use a very, very dated reference. I don't think.
I'm just saying.
I don't think you're gonna ask for people to defend their dissertations over the internet.
I mean, we're defending ours, first of all, but two, flip the script. If you don't want to be criticized on the internet, don't put answers on the community, because we will come.
Which is why I don't think that you're going to get many takers on that particular spin on the format. No.
I mean, yes, but also we all know, as a rule of the internet, that the fastest way to get a correct answer on the internet is to post a wrong answer on the internet.
I mean, Sean Doyle's here, so anything can happen with these Jira duties, right? Like, he loves to go in and just mess me up. So, anyways, that is Jira Duty Light.
Yeah. And
as a not
two
so
flavors, community, LinkedIn post. If you want to have your question answered by me, Alex, maybe Bob, maybe Sarah, depends who's on that day, definitely look out for those LinkedIn posts, because they'll be coming, asking for your questions and your problems. This next topic, though, I think is the one Alex is most excited about.
I thought that's what we're going to be doing today.
I'm a little excited about it too. So, as Alex said, there are many, many ways to do things in Jira, Confluence, any of the Atlassian tools. So we thought we'd have a little fun with that, where we'd take a topic or discussion and kind of discuss our learned best practices and debate what is best, how to do things, or just debate a topic in general. And as Alex said, he is so excited about this one, he thought we were going to do it today.
I thought that was the whole point. I'm like, who wants to hear a recap of what we're going to be bringing you? Let's just get into it. Get the gloves out.
Well,
it's only a recap if they've heard it before. They haven't heard this before.
Yeah, this has been hidden.
Well, I guess. But for the thumbnail, we'd definitely need like some punching gloves on now.
Yes. Next time we could all be together, there's going to be a whole photo shoot. Let me tell you. I'm going to get like each of us in different poses, different props, different expressions.
Can I get one with like my hands over Bob's neck?
Oh, my neck. Okay, sure.
Just kidding, Bob. Love you, Bob.
It's only a 6-hour drive, right?
It's only, yeah. I mean, I am going in a couple months, right?
So
that's the next one. That's the one I'm looking for. Friends will be made, mistakes will be made, enemies will be created as well.
I'm imagining it's going to wind up like Monopoly, where no one wins and everyone feels worse for having played.
What kind of version of Monopoly are you playing? I always win.
The one where it destroys friendships.
Gee, what? How many
to add
times
some
Monopoly has
context,
done that?
I know, right? To add some context, the intent here, right, is Atlassian's always releasing stuff. They're always releasing new ways to do things, a UI update, which is what I thought we were going to be talking about today, right? and not only that, right, but there's the infinite vast of what is Jira, right? And when you go to plan a sprint or you go to add a custom field or literally any action that you try to do in Jira, there's so many ways to do it, right? And we were just thinking, like, what better way to kind of let the community hear from us who spend all of our awake moments thinking about this stuff, right? And kind of come up with like some best practices and debate what's the right way, what's the wrong way, what things to avoid, things like lessons learned, things that the three of us have experienced, and to try to help you all not make the same mistakes that we make.
Exactly.
Free parking or no?
I mean, free parking is definitely a house rule, but it should be a house rule in every game.
I like to just hang out and not go to jail. Do fun, or I guess Bob, for you and your kid, do you go easy on him or do you beat him
We
every
haven't played
time?
Monopoly in years.
No,
We're on to other games right now. The board game fascination right now is Root. So we're doing.
Because I mean, I play like Smash Brothers with my two kids, and like I show no mercy.
Well, the kid has grown up to show no mercy. So, you know.
I mean,
Oh,
they all get to that point.
Oh, Sarah, no, Root as in ROOT. So it's kind of
that almost sounds like a Fun with Flags episode with Sheldon. Only Bob would like a game that is like so nerdy that you build highways to get to from one side of the United States to the other.
I believe that game is called Ticket to Ride, and is actually one of my favorites.
Ticket to Ride. I was thinking about the train game, Ticket to Ride. Exactly. There is a game. There is a game out there, Alex. You can't trademark it.
Also, SimCity. Andy does bring up a good point. There's any number of city sims out there that also has that same premise.
We live boring lives as human beings.
I mean,
but we also go on a 6-hour road trip intentionally, so
yeah,
for fun.
So another variation of the Alex Rodney discuss is one where we will have guests, because again, we're not getting rid of guests entirely, but rather than have them talk about their experience, how they came to the Atlassian community, everything we've heard for the past year, we're going to bring up a news article or something relevant that's happening in the Atlassian ecosystem right now and talk to them about that.
And I think our soonest example of that is going to be next week. Next week, we actually do have a guest, Bill Wood, if you remember, from Catworks. So,
yep.
In that, I haven't arranged a topic or topics with him yet, but that's something that we will probably discuss in the post-show meeting or and get an idea of what we want to have Bill noodle on during the show next week.
Yep.
How exciting.
I don't know. This next one. This is one I put forward, and I still think it's going to be really popular. You hear me and Alex on the show week in, week out, talk about different topics. You never see us actually do. So what I'm thinking here is a little head-to-head.
This is where we really need the gloves.
This is where we really need the picture of us with gloves. We're about to face off.
No, we gotta do that iconic like Sonic and Shadow fight scene one.
Yes, absolutely. Not disagreeing with you there. But the whole premise here is we take a challenge And it's something that is a little ambiguity to something we can play around with. We go off, workshop our own solutions to whatever challenge this is. And then during the show, we show our solution and compare the pros and cons of each.
There will be tears.
Go ahead, Alex.
I said there will be tears.
I was gonna say, I'm kind of taking that idea, and I almost want to get guests, or maybe the peanut gallery will be judges, and we can kind of do have them bring out numbers, on a scale of 1 to 10. How inventive was Rodney's solution? And we could see
let the community score and grade us.
Yeah, let the peanut gallery grade you guys.
I think that's a great idea.
Panel of judges. Lacey likes that idea.
Now, these judges would have to be on live with us, because we need to hear their scathing, and I'm expecting scathing remarks from the judges here.
Man,
I don't want any softball judges.
I was half kidding about the tears, but I think there will be tears. You're gonna make me not ever want to go on the internet again.
The internet can be a cruel place. I thought you knew that.
Yeah, I know, but dang.
Some of us
I know. Send out one spam message, and you're.
People will let you live it down for like weeks.
That's because the internet is forever.
So is our love for each other, guys. Let's forget that we were friends before foes.
I mean, we could be both.
I mean, I already do want the strangle picture with Bob.
Why Bob though? That's the part I don't get.
Because he's the producer. He's the pain in the butt. He's like
He's making us do what we need to do to get the show off the road or off the ground.
Yeah, but he's the one that makes me have to follow the script.
I believe that's me most episodes.
I was gonna say, let's roll back the tape. All 52. Wait, 62. 24, 62, 24, 86 hours. I don't think there's been much of the producer jabbing the talent. Like doing something like shutting off microphones or something like that.
We do have a question from Sarah. Is this like Chopped, or will they know the challenge ahead of time? I don't think it's going to be 3 rounds, because we only have 1 hour and we got to get through both our solutions. What I'm imagining here is we know the challenge ahead of time. We learned about it like a week in advance, and because both me and Alex have day jobs and other responsibilities, we work on it when we can for the previous week. And then what we're showing on the show is not us doing it, but what we did.
Bonus points if you record what you're doing.
I mean, that would be ideal, but
yeah, you don't have time. There's
we have my thought there, maybe, and this is up to Alex individual, but we both have our own YouTube channels. We can maybe stream what we're doing live, but the thing is, the other person can't watch that stream, so we can't tackle. So I can see Alex going live, and they're like, I can't actually be on this one.
I don't know. I think we got a noodle on this more, right? But the whole premise of this idea came from Brittany saying like, I could do it better in Trello, and I'm like, yeah, right. Right. And I think it's interesting to just consider. I think we'll definitely have to like workshop how do we execute on this. But I think it'd be a great way so that everybody can kind of again see how people that do this all day long, how we arrive. Right? And I think there's value, in my opinion. I think there's value in us thinking through our solutioning, like thinking through the answer. Right? The same way I answer like those questions from when we're doing the studying for the ACPs, right? Because and how we think and how we solve the problem, how we approach the problem, how we eliminate things, right? I think there's value in that for people to see that thought process. But in the peanut gallery, what do y'all think? What do you want to see? How would you like to see this?
Yeah, this is your show ultimately. We may be up here, Bob may be in the back end helping us produce, but ultimately this show exists because you guys see value in it week after week.
Yeah, because
So we
there
want to
might
make
even be value in having like an overhead cam to kind of like map out releases and like how do you groom your backlog and stuff like that, right? Where I can have like an overhead camera and I'm just writing out like here's what I'm thinking, here's how I'm going to structure my workflows, here's what I'm going to do this or that, and then go implement it in Jira.
So, I mean, absolutely. I could definitely see something like that. But this is one of the show formats is going to be the most work. These aren't going to be every week shows. This is probably going to be like once a quarter maybe, but these are one of the ones I am most excited about.
Me too.
I think Sarah's got some ideas here that she's really going to help us out with as we develop this format.
Mm-hmm. And given some of the situations I'll have later in the quarter, Sarah might be doing one of these herself. So,
I was going to say, I would like to point out for the record that Bob and Sarah will not escape this. We have 4 possible permutations here.
Yeah. Ooh, you just give me more ideas there. Tournament of Champions.
I think we should keep points on these and also do something at the end of the year to see who got the most points. Because at the end of the day, it's building up resistance to public shaming.
I did band in college. There is no shame left.
I think Sarah and I are in agreement on that. We're going to get our Groucho glasses.
But
what we got to do is we got to build like songs for our entrances when we come in. I'm going to wrestle in a metal steel cage.
we've got the Monstercat subscription. That's all licensed and ready to go.
Let's do it, Mr. Rodney.
I'm ready. So this next one, Alex, Sarah, and Rodney present polls / mentees on topics and discuss in between us. To be honest, I'm not entirely sure how this will work out because when I envision this as written, what I end up seeing is Quiz Whiz. Or
but a better version of the Quiz Whiz, because now the Quiz Whiz is just like this total like not Jira related thing anymore.
Well, Menti does polling, so
Yeah.
I think that's where we're kind of going with that.
I think at the end of the day, right, what we're trying to really give back to you guys is like, how do we think? How do we get to answers? What do we think are good ideas? What do we think are bad ideas? What do you think you guys should follow? What do you think you shouldn't follow? And I don't think there's ever going to be a right answer to any of it, right? But it's just a matter of like, in the world of Jira, so many people can answer these things so many different ways, right? And I think it's important for us to discuss, to debate, to talk about, to just ponder what's like. If I say the word story points, this is going to trigger everybody on the call, right? And like everybody's got an opinion on it and we can discuss it.
But we want to show you how we approach things. And that's the big thing. Talking with the guest last week on the word I just forgot.
Not retrospective.
Retrospective, that's the word I was forgetting. But talking to people last week on retrospective, talking amongst ourselves internally about this over the past, we start looking at this list and start putting this together back in October. Like, hey, we got the new year coming up. We're going to make some changes. What changes do we want to make? We've been talking about this for a while. So, yeah, with what Bob said, I could see more like Minty being the polling perspective. Like, I give an opinion, Alex gives an opinion. We get live polling about what different people think. Maybe taking some of their comments as we're giving our opinions. I see more how that's going to work and not be a copy of Are You Smarter Than?
Right, because it's not regurgitating the facts, right? Because again, I think it'll be less Jira admin-y and more the application of the things we administer.
It's more the business analyst that you also have to be good at as Jira admin, but isn't really taught as much, as more as experienced.
Yeah, and it'll help kind of echo a theme that we've had for the last 2 years, which is the hardest part of being a Jira admin isn't knowing how to add a freaking custom field to a screen. It's should you add said custom field to a screen? And I think it'll help people kind of again build that skill set and also build confidence when they do have to go defend adding a custom field to a screen. Should it be an issue type? Should it be a custom field? Should it be single select, multi-select, cascading, radio button, checklist? What kind? So many options.
And then where do you add it? Do you add it on a new tab? Do you add it on the same screen? Is the screen too long? Do you make it required?
Is it on the create screen? Is it on the edit screen? Is it on the view screen?
Is it on all three?
Does it even
Do you
matter
need
anymore?
separates?
Yeah.
Or do you have so many screens already that if you create separate screens for view, edit, and create, you're going to go mad?
What we should start off with is like, should you rename a status in Jira?
So we're gonna take the what they've been talking about, and this actually might be a little bit of a preview for 2 weeks from now after the episode with Bill Wood.
Oh, this may be coming from the notes I'm already writing on that.
Okay.
This guy, overachiever in some areas.
Sometimes. So yeah, polls with our discussions. I do like that idea. Next one I really like because we do not get him in front of the camera often enough. I know Bob prefers it that way, but I'm sorry. You're as much of a star as either me or Alex here, so got to get used to it.
No, right now, no, I'm not. Just like if there were the three of us in the middle of the expo hall at Team 25, they'd be running to you two, not to me, and that's fine.
What are you talking about? You're the one with the sombrero and the king's hat and all the other glam that you had on. Bob, I've never seen anybody dance the way you dance, though.
That wasn't at the expo hall.
It should have been. We'll do a TGL dance off at the expo hall.
Ooh, I'm going to lose that one. I mean, to be fair, there are disabilities at play, but I'll still give it my honest try, and I will still lose.
I was gonna say Bob and Sajid had the hardest time getting me onto the dance floor. I was like a rock. I sat down on the floor. They couldn't budge me.
I just hid.
Smart.
I will say at the same time I was dancing, I was also acting as producer and getting and getting Jensen. That was my first contact with Jensen and getting her on the show after Rovo had been announced. So I'm gonna put that feather in my sombrero or crown.
Good job.
But yeah, we need more hot takes from Bob. So some of the episodes are going to be not just me and Alex, but me, Alex, and Bob, where on particular interesting topics, we get his opinion too.
Watch out, world. Nobody is safe anymore. We're coming for you.
I mean, we say that Sarah's also at least a part-time co-host, so she's also
when she doesn't book hair salon appointments during this hour.
She is a member because I got notification that I think her TJL shirt is on the way. So
yep.
Sarah, this is like the golden hour here. You don't book anything over this hour.
If I can help it, I don't schedule anything on Thursday. We were just talking about this. I have some dental work coming up, and I'm like, no, I scheduled on Friday, so I have a full week to heal
Yeah,
before
I don't
the
even
show.
go to Disneyland on Thursdays because of this show.
Wait. Would you want to go to Disneyland instead of?
In a heartbeat, yeah.
Okay.
Maybe I should do
Oh.
an episode of the Jira Life from Disneyland.
I mean, there's a good
That's-
opportunity up ahead.
Oh, this whole thing. Sorry, Rodney. We'll do it without you.
I mean, it is what it is.
I told you we can still figure it out. So what else do we
So-
have on our agenda here? Guest.
Yeah, guest. Just a normal episode that we've been doing for the past year where we have a guest on to talk
I was gonna
about
say-
who they are, what they're doing, what's interesting.
I was going to
Or-
say 99% of what our show was. It's second from the bottom this year.
I'm not upset about that. We can still have guests on when Marie or Joanna wants to present something about certifications or something else interesting is going on. You'd absolutely do that.
Jensen, Sharif, if they want to talk about Atlassian Intelligence or Rovo, we'll give them the mic in the hour. Sure.
I mean, if MCB wants to be on, it's definitely going to happen.
And those will be those you can be sure that those episodes where it's a guest that special, yeah, no script.
We're just not going to bother.
Don't even, we don't even.
I thought
we're not
I
even
thought
gonna-
that's not the opposite. We always have to have a script when like the one episode that I was so careful with was the one with Jensen.
I
need to
think,
be fair.
well, a lot of that was
Don't get her fired.
well,
Don't get
building
Atlassian on our
trust,
don't put us on the blacklist of Atlassian.
basically. It's,
Yeah.
it's like building trust. I mean, how do we make sure that we offer an attractive platform for other Atlassians? You know,
Judging by how many of the PMs wanted to talk to me at Team 24 Europe, I think it worked. Because that's a whole nother discussion for a whole nother time. But I had several of the PMs or PMO people who wanted to talk to us about what they were working on at Team 24 Europe. So I think we did achieve that stable platform for Atlassians to come on and say, "Hey, this is what we're doing. That's awesome."
and I'm hoping that translates to, hey, are you available on a Thursday afternoon?
Mm-hmm.
So, and
Sorry, go ahead.
and and I think that's where that value might be shown. No script, talk whatever you want to about what's new with Jira software or what's new with Rovo. I mean, as good as the recorded bits that you got, it'd be really great to get them in person and kind of having that back and forth with the peanut gallery.
If there's one thing I wish I had done more of while I was in Europe, was just that. Like, hey, we got this recorded bit. Are you available on a Thursday coming up? Can we talk you into coming on this show? Wish I'd done more of that. But you could ask Valerie, who was there with me most of the time. I didn't stop. I didn't stop for lunch. I didn't stop for breaks. I just kept, okay, got to go here, talk to these people. Got to go here, talk to these people.
Yeah.
So.
And that's probably going to be my job at Team 25. So we'll be going as a champion / community leader / creative person. And the bulk of what I do is in the expo hall is probably finding those interesting people and saying, hey, would you like to appear on the Jira Life on a Thursday? That is to say, that's not the only means. And I will tell you right now that probably after the show, We will be putting out a LinkedIn message saying, hey, we're still open to having guests on the Jira Life. If you want to be there, we still have our JSM portal called Jira Amigo Central. And from that portal, you can still click on the request type that says, I want to be on the Jira Life. And I will always answer those and see about getting you on. It's just that we're not aiming to do this to having a guest every week, because we do want to talk about the goings on in the Atlassian ecosystem too.
The movers and shakers.
We have plenty of the movers and shakers. We need more of the what's going on. But that does get into our final topic listed here, which is a topical debate with the guest. Up at the top, we talked about me and Alex debating topics or some permutation within the Jira Life crew. We're not above bringing someone on to debate a topic they may specialize in too. Talk about script runner, or talking about automation in general, or talking about just general admin. But doing it with a guest rather than just us and bringing them into the discussion. How would you do this? What are your thoughts?
And that kind of goes with the guest as well, right? If we bring on from someone like last time we brought someone on from like Exalate, right? It'd be like talking about not just their app, but the general problems that apps like them try to solve, right? And trying to get the perspectives of how do you deal with the APIs? How do you deal with the limits that Atlassian puts? What kind of limits does Atlassian put, right? Stuff like that. Even with Revise, right? Where I just did a video for them where we back up their forms, right? So in JSM, you can back up JSM forms now with Revise. And one of the things that I noticed was like, hey, I can back up the form, but the fields and how I have them in the form doesn't get moved over when I do the restoration. And they were like, oh, that's because Atlassian doesn't have the API for that, right? So we want these conversations with these guests to be less on like, what does your app do and stuff like that, and more of like, why does your app do the things like that, and debate about that, right? And talk about that, and just try to get understandings.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I finished.
I mean, just discuss like, hey, this isn't a new problem. This is how I solved it in the past. How is your app a better solution? What does it do differently from what we may have done just hacks in vanilla Jira?
Yeah, but we want the interviews or the conversations with the guests to be less like
not confrontational,
right,
but just like what
insightful.
makes your product unique.
I think insightful is the right word, right? We want to like almost kind of like a BTS, behind the scenes of like how your app came to be, the design decisions you guys made on the app, engineering decisions you made on the app, and like just things that I think people in this community would get some value out of from having the guest on, right? Not just, again, what does the app do, but how can I compel my company or make the case for my company to say, hey, this is a good app for us to invest in, or not.
Hey, to do this, I have to do this complicated hack that requires 16 steps that has to be bespoke every time, or we could just use this app.
Yep.
And, along those lines, one of those guests may be from time to time, usually once a quarter, would be somebody from our sponsor, Revise, and they would be able to talk about what's going on with their apps.
Mm-hmm.
And also, what in the world is Sarah inhaling inside that beauty salon?
Everything.
No. She was at the hair appointment last week, and that's why we didn't see a sign.
Was that last week? Oh, I thought she was smoking something today then.
No, because I don't think she's getting a perm or anything like that.
Oh, I thought I do not know how to read then.
Although if she is getting a perm, we need pictures.
It's the reference exorcist. I saw the Blair Witch Project, and that's as far as I went into that whole genre.
The Blair Witch Project was tame.
I actively
the
avoid
Exorcist
scary movies.
Yeah, he's we're gonna tell him to see the Exorcist. He's not.
I'm not taking movie recommendations from you ever. 45
I feel
minutes of a
almost
black
hurt.
screen. That was the worst recommendation any of you have ever made. If it wasn't
This feels like
copyrighted,
a hold my beer moment. I've got worse movies I could recommend.
and as an added bonus, in the last 5 minutes, how many of you guys would like to see us play what's it, Ticket to Ride while talking about Jira?
I mean, they have an online version. I think we can make it happen.
We're gonna save that for a 10-ish hour live stream. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Also, just to get feedback from the Peanut Gallery here, what do y'all think about TJL After Dark episodes?
I mean,
Sarah still wants to talk about Ticket to Ride, so I think that's as
far as CGL After Dark is something I've always been interested in seeing, only because given my health concerns right now, I won't be the one drinking. I'll be the sober one trying to keep things on something resembling rails.
So wait a minute. You can't drink. Alex won't drink.
But I'm not opposed to it.
I swear I'm going to become the alcoholic stunt monkey, aren't I?
No, I think Alex has to drink for this.
Again, I'm not opposed to drinking. I just don't find any tastes that are good in the drinking realm.
I don't think he's ever had any whiskeys though, or anything beyond beer.
Probably hasn't had any cocktails like
whatever Atlassian had.
Or...
Whatever Atlassian had, that's what we'd be drinking over there. And
I think this is about to be a whole thing.
I learned that drinks have this whole puppiness to them.
Nope, here we go.
Sarah, that would have been my top recommendation too.
Wait, Sarah's gonna drink? Sarah, do you have?
No, she's gonna fix you a drink.
I was gonna say we're gonna have fun at Teams this year. It's gonna be a great time. I just need to find Sean because Sean knows where all the sugar's at. All right, wait, what am I talking about? I'm the navigator for this city. Y'all gotta hang out with me.
Hey, Alex.
I already walked, or I didn't walk, but I already went to the M&M Donuts that's walking distance from the convention center, and they open at 9 p.m. and it's a 3-hour wait. So we'll have some fun waiting in line.
Wait a minute, it'll be midnight before you can have a donut?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you probably want to line up back at 8.
Or you could have someone pull the place in line at 6.
This is like an inverse barbecue joint.
Oh, it's a tiny little shack. It's like 2 people barely fit in it, but it's like magical donuts.
Yeah, total inverse barbecue joint, because the best barbecue joints are tiny little shacks that you go at the crack of dawn for when they open at 9 in the morning, and they will serve magical meat until they run out.
That's how that's how this place is for donuts.
When you say magical donuts, are these going to get us in trouble if we cross state lines?
No, they're just really good.
Yes. Yeah, don't do it crossing state lines. That would probably be a federal offense.
It's just dough and sugar.
I swear, officer, that's just powdered sugar. Yeah, sure.
Just because you come into California and certain things are legal here.
Exactly why we have to ask these questions.
Well, so here's the thing. Those things are legal in California. They're legal in Arizona, the next state over. But bringing said things that even though are legal in California and legal in Arizona and transporting them across the state line makes it federal, which is illegal.
Really?
Yeah.
So I shouldn't ask you for a gas-powered lawnmower then. Because they're completely illegal here.
I mean, it depends if it's federal law or not.
state California, you can't have gas powered lawnmowers. You can't have gas powered anything anymore, including cars, very soon.
I mean,
Welcome to California, people. And with that said, there's our show.
Yes, everyone, thank you for watching. Welcome to 2025. We are excited about what we have planned for this year. But as we said earlier, can't do it without you. So please subscribe, push the like button, do all the YouTube things. And as we always say,
don't forget to back up your Jira data with Revise.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we always say that too. But
We say that, but what do you really want to say, Rodney?
we didn't choose the Jira Life. Jira Life chose
Jira Life
us.
chose us. Thank you for listening to the Jira Life. Our hosts are Alex, Dr. Jira Ortiz, and Rodney, the Jira Guy, Nissen. You can find Alex on YouTube at 8Tech Tutorials, and Rodney's blog is found over at thejiraguy.com. Our producers are Robert King Bob Wen and Lina Ortiz. You can catch us live as we record this podcast every Thursday at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern on YouTube at The Jira Life. Be sure to join us and our other Jira Amigos of the Peanut Gallery every week to ask your questions, let us know your comments, and just tell us what you're up to. But if you can't join us live, you can still catch the replay over on YouTube. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell while you're watching. We're also available as a podcast over on Apple iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. If you listen to it and think it deserves a rating, we would very much appreciate it, as it will help others discover the Jira Life. Because we didn't choose the Jira Life. The Jira Life chose us.